My friends, this is all about you. It's not about Leroy. Leroy's done his thing. I'm so proud my good friend Ferrigno was finally honored, awarded the award, the special award, in the Hall of Fame of bodybuilding. I was awarded over 10 years ago, which I think kind of late, to be honest with you. But it's a great feeling. You know something? There's nothing better feeling than as Father Time begins to creep on you, you see that you've done something that makes you realize that your efforts were not in vain. Not that you look for it. But you see, my friends, I have a good friend, Joe Nimick. I don't know how he finds these guys, but he said, Leroy, he called me on the phone, he said, you got to see this guy, Cali Muscle. I said, what about, who in the world is Cali Muscle? Now, the point is, I'm into bodybuilding. These guys are not into, they're YouTube sensations. They're not in the world of bodybuilding because they just don't fit. They don't know what they're doing. Their bodies are not prize winning, but that's not the point. This Cali Muscle fella, what fascinated me, he said, Leroy, you can't believe. He says, he came online on his video and he says, I don't take juice. The only juice I take, and he had some mixture there with orange juice. I had to go online to go on YouTube to see what else. I couldn't sit through it. It made me sick. The only juice I take. Now, you know something, my friends? I've been in bodybuilding. I know them all. I know who's taking juice. I don't like to do this to these young fellas. I don't like to tell these people you don't take juice. What only person that don't, why would you have to lie? Even Arnold admitted taking juice, but nothing, my friends, like what they have today. This stuff is designer stuff. But Arnold still had a beautiful body, beautiful shaped lines. Frank Zane, all these guys took juice. But there was nothing like the stuff they got today. These guys get absolutely freaky. Now you got another guy that's huge, which I respect, Rich Piana. His body looked like something that out of space. But at least he was honest enough to admit that he takes the juice. I respect him. What he talks about how you got to use it and so forth and so on. I respect him for that. But this Cali Muscle guy, to put a scam like that and say he doesn't take the juice, only thing he takes, couldn't even finish the video. I just didn't want to. He got some juicy mix, that's what he takes. Now, the young fellas attracted to him because that's where young fellas are. They want the new excitement. But it's the service. Because they look at this guy's body and somehow they think, first of all, when he says all he takes is juice, it's an insult to anybody that knows better. My friends, you cannot develop that density of muscle and that big swollen look, vascular that, without taking steroids. Anybody tells you they're not taking it, I'm going to use some cursing I don't like to do, is a goddamn liar. Because I've been in this too long. I'm not a beginner. Way before this guy was born, I was in bodybuilding. I grew up with the bodybuilders. I grew up with the drugs. I grew up to the stages of drugs, how they improved to the point that these guys injected themselves, the muscle itself. I talked to a lot of the guys right now that are on juice that, and a lot of them are retired. Some of them got sick and so on and so on. And I talked to some of these guys. I talked to one very famous bodybuilder, huge. He said he used to train his arms twice in the same day. But his balls shrunk to marbles because the drugs take over, my friends. They take over. Your body no longer produces the hormones. The drugs actually take over your body and allow you to do what you could never do. The body could not tolerate. See, nitrogen is the end product of protein digestion. What happens with the drug? It holds it in the muscles like fertilizer. That's why these guys get so strong. But they got these special designer type drugs now. And these guys get absolutely freaky. And I think it's disservice to the young fellas, because that's who anybody that has any experience in bodybuilding laughs at this guy saying he doesn't, what, he got some kind of juice concoction. I couldn't even look through it. It's so annoying to me because it's disservice to the young fellas, because I know how you got when you're young. You're looking for some magic, some guys got the answer. And some people are introduced to bodybuilding through YouTube only. It's first introduction to bodybuilding. Do you know something, my friends? Men's Health sells 5 times the amount of issues, 10 times of all the bodybuilding magazines put together. You know why? Because they show guys that use no drugs at all, natural bodybuilders, nothing sensational, but something people can look at and relate to. They can't relate to guys like that. And it's not fair to lie. You don't have to lie to the guys and confuse them, because you get a guy first introduction, you see him, you say, wow. Wow, what? You think he's gonna look like that? No. And you take drugs and you see that it's no magic in the drugs. First of all, you gotta train your ass off, and you gotta have a foundation to begin with. You can't start off never training your life, start taking steroids, and think you're gonna get built up in 6 months. It doesn't work that way. It takes time. No matter what you do, it takes time. But I just felt sick. Don't lie you can't lie to anybody with an experience. They know better. They've been in this too long. But the beginner, the initiator, the guy's looking on YouTube and he sees all these huge muscles and he thinks somehow this guy got the magic. He don't have any magic. He's in the same juice that all the guys that get freaky like that use. But at least be honest. And I mean, I talk to Rick Piana a lot. And I mean, I like this guy because he's out there. He knows damn well he can't fool nobody telling him he don't use juice and he looks like somebody pumped him with air. You cannot look. I want you to do something, my friends. Go to my website, LeroyColbert.com. And when you see the block that says bodybuilders of my era, click on that. And you see the difference. These were the top guys of my era. Natural. And see the difference between their bodies and the bodies today. How do you think got like that? Drinking Coca-Cola? Oh, I had to get that out of me. I don't want to be, be a certified of these guys. And I don't say anything about these guys until they come up with something outrageous that get me. Some of these guys, a lot of them have good the service, tell you how to train and so forth and so on. But don't do that to the youngsters. And that's all who's listening to that stuff. That's all the ones, because you know how youngsters are. They feel omnipotent because I went through those periods. That's the good part. You're talking to a man that ran the continent from over 70 years in bodybuilding. I know all the steps. I know what happens in the mind. Not only is me, I talk to not all, but many of the up and coming great bodybuilders. I don't bother too much about the guys today because they sold so much juice, but I talk to them too. It's so hard to relate to them. I can't relate to it. I mean, it's getting crazy now. But anyhow, I'm just saying this. I got to respond because my friend Joe Nemick, he blew his mind when he saw this guy, I think Cali Muscle, mix up some kind of juice. I looked at it for a few minutes. I couldn't look at it anymore. It made me sick. Mixing up some kind of juice, and he says that that's all he uses. Okay, my friends, to be continued.